right, welcome back, Double Teamed Fam. How are we doing today?
Well, that's fancy.
I don't know about fancy, but I definitely use like a different voice, right?
Well,
Y'all heard that?
For those
it's
of
usually
us,
like, welcome back, Double Teamed Fam. How are we doing today? Yeah,
do
exactly. So I changed it up a little bit. I actually do think I can do a lot of different variations with my voice, and I do try to get creative. It's just, yeah. Anyways, how are we doing?
for those of you on YouTube, you saw the arm motions, but also I copied Cami's space buns from last time because I need to wash my hair today. And it's
I was going to
gross.
say, if you're on YouTube, A, please subscribe. C, or B, if you see one of us wearing space buns or a beanie,
It
most
means
likely,
it's hair wash
yeah,
day.
most likely it means we have not washed our hair yet, and we're nearing hair wash day.
So we only wash our hair once a week. It just works out better for me that way, to be honest. I shower every day, to clarify.
Yes.
Someone thought that like because I only wash my hair once a week, that meant I only shower once a week.
Who
I'm
the
like-
fuck thought that?
One of my coworkers, I'm like, you can,
What?
it's a guy.
You can enter the shower without getting your hair wet.
Exactly.
B.
Some hair types don't benefit from washing every day.
Like ours.
We have really thick, long hair. If we wash ours every day, it dries it out super fast.
Yeah, it's not good.
And then that causes our glands to overproduce oil, and then that causes our hair to be oily. So
Oily and dry at the same time.
it's weird.
So anyways,
So it's hair wash day for me. So after
it's
this,
actually also hair wash day for me. I actually brushed my hair and thought it looked decent. I had my hair up in a bun all day. I was cleaning pee because
we got a puppy.
Nikki and I got a puppy. His name is Lobo,
Which
like
means wolf
in Spanish.
I'll be honest, I didn't think I was going to get a puppy for a long time. Sammy passed away, 3 weeks ago?
Almost a month ago. Yeah.
Almost a month ago.
Which that feels unreal.
I know. And I'll be honest, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get another dog for a really long time. And then my friend posted this puppy that was up for adoption so they rescued the mom from the shelter, and then she had puppies. And the rescue posted the puppies on their Instagram, and she reposted it on her stories, and I saw him and I fell in love. And so I set up the appointment, and lo and behold, we have a puppy named Lobo. And like Cami said, Lobo means wolf in Spanish. My first reaction was, I wonder what my therapist is going to think, because we spent an entire session working through the grief that I felt for Sammy's passing. And so in the next session, here I am bringing a little puppy, and she's like, oh my God, what happened? And she was like, oh my God. And she thought, she was supportive. She thought it can help me heal. So she didn't have anything negative to say about it.
I mean, I'll say, I still cry about Sammy sometimes. But it is nice to have a little puppy to help with the emotions. And I don't know, it's also like he's also helping me, I don't know, slow down a little bit, because instead of like rushing through all my shit, now I'm like, oh wait, let me take this dog out for 5 minutes and congratulate him that he's peeing. So, things like that. So it's been nice. It's definitely been a change of pace for Nikki and I, and we're trying to potty train him.
I'd agree. It gives me a different perspective on it too, because like now I'm seeing things through like a different lens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So anyways, we're really excited about him. And I'm still also crying over Sammy, but this is a fun kind of adventure to take on with Cami, because we're being mommies together.
Yeah. We've mommied together before.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So, but that's not today's episode or topic. We're just letting y'all know.
But actually, before we hop into today's topic, I've been wanting to bring this up for weeks. I told you about this.
Is it story time with Nikki?
No.
Oh God. Okay, go on.
Cami is not thrilled about this. I made the observation a couple weeks ago, and I kept meaning to bring it up on the pod. I don't know if anyone else has made the same observation, but I have found that wall outlets, or like wall plugs, where you plug in your stuff or appliances and electronics charge are incredibly monogamous. Like, has anyone?
I need you to explain that.
Have you not
What
noticed?
do you mean by that?
They're
Two
always
plugs
in
go-
sets of 2.
Do you want 3 all over the house? Because that's just gonna look terrible.
You only ever see them in sets of 2. Occasionally, you see it in sets of 4. Occasionally.
Sometimes it comes with the 2 USB outlets, which is incredibly helpful.
That's a
But
separate...
aesthetically speaking, I don't want a fucking, 5-some on a strip on my fucking wall. Like, it's just a
mononormativity
Oh my god.
on a micro level with appliances, because sometimes it would be really nice to have more than just 2, and then they're stacked right on top of each other, so then it's like, you can't, like, you almost have to coordinate what you plug in, because sometimes if it's a bigger plug, it won't work, right? So it's like it's almost like you're having to conform to society's like monogamous tendencies. And occasionally you see 4, which I think is also kind of hilariously representative of how, in polyamory or non-monogamy, like, it's cool if it's a quad, but if it's a triad, there's a power imbalance. So we don't like that. Anyways.
Are you done?
I was just making that observation. And I think wall plugs should have more than just 2.
Okay, well, take
Just
that up
2
with Ace Hardware or whoever makes those up.
Yeah,
Nikki.
like, we're
I
gonna
don't know.
suddenly
What do you want me to do? Contact every home builder and be like, I'm sorry, but it's incredibly mononormative for you to put only 2 in
and
one
the fact
outlet.
that they're tandem, like, can we put them next to each other and with a little bit more room so that they're not so conjoined, and maybe yeah, a strip of 3 horizontally would be ideal, in my opinion.
Are we ready to move on from this? Because I am.
This has been weighing on my mind, and it's something I wanted to bring up because,
Okay,
like,
well, we have
I'm really-
bigger fish to fry,
Take-
Nikki,
take
than fucking wall plugs being monogamous.
Take, for example, the fact that right now, like,
We have a live show in 3 weeks.
Oh, can I finish my sentence? The plug, or the thing that you have in to charge to the laptop plugged in, is taking up both, right? And if we move it down, like, it's still to the point where, like,
Nope, I just moved it so you can plug something in.
Yeah, but it's
it.
still something that has to be small. It still has to be. You still have to kind
How
of, like,
big are all these
accommodate for it.
adapters and connectors that
That's
are
what I'm
going
saying.
in it?
Why can't we just put 3 that go vertically, or 4 that go vertically, or not horizontally? You know what I mean? Horizontally, this way, not vertically, horizontally.
Okay, so
And not
Nikki wants
monogamous.
power strips
In the walls. Is that so much to ask for?
I think it's a lot.
I just, like I said,
We're gonna just start putting single ones to make it more
No.
autonomous.
No. No. Well, that's what I'm saying right now. Not only are they monogamous, but they don't have autonomy. Like, has anyone ever thought about that?
Nicole, we're moving on from this.
I'm just saying.
Story time with Nikki.
I'm really fucking tired of the wall plugs.
So,
Okay, that's not today's topic. But it's something.
imagine if it was.
It's something I've been wanting to bring up for a really long time.
Oh.
We can title the episode something in monogamous electricity. Okay. Anyways, moving on. That's not what I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, it was just an observation and something I wanted to get off my chest. If you're an electrician out there, please consider that maybe horizontal triads are going to be better than vertical monogamy. Or vertically monogamous.
Just start
outlets.
making autonomous plugs so we can all be happy.
Okay, moving on.
Anyways, story time with Nikki. We mentioned this when we recorded with Steph, but that episode's not coming out for like a few more weeks. So might as well say it on this.
Cami and I were in New York City at a little day festival thing called All Day I Dream at the Brooklyn Mirage. We had a dope time. Anyways,
Why are you covering my microphone?
because I want water.
Oh, I thought you were insinuating that I was gulping loudly. So then I was going to be really fucking upset if you were like covering the microphone.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, we were at All Day I Dream at the Brooklyn Mirage. And we were in the crowd, kind of halfway to the stage. I don't know.
You
Anyways.
still have water on your chin. I don't know if they can see that, but can y'all see that Nikki has water on her chin? Anyways,
Yes. So,
we were at the Brooklyn Mirage. We were in the crowd, hanging out,
and then
chilling.
In the crowd. Anyways, and I don't remember. We were like turning kind of sideways. I was like drinking water or whatever, and the girl behind us, she was like, "Oh my God, are you guys twins?" And we were like, "Yeah." And we like turned around to face her when we answered. And then she was like, "Oh my God, do you have a podcast?" And we were like, "Yeah." She was like, "Double teamed?" And we were like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh my God, you guys are like, I was listening Friday. You're part of my sexual awakening." I was thrilled.
It was so nice.
I was honored.
She asked for a hug. We gave her one.
So it was really cool to meet someone that listened to the pod, and she had just listened to an episode on Friday. Anyways, it was really cool, and that will never get old for me because I love meeting people, and I love when they let me know that like I've made an impact, on their life in some way. Like, that's why I'm here.
I will say, new fear unlocked after Nikki and I had our interaction with her, and she went back to her thing, we went back to ours. I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, what if we were like
super
underwhelming?
Boring. Yeah.
What if we weren't as like what she pictured after listening to the podcast? And then I was like, wait a minute, like,
are we boring in real life?
Are we boring in real life? I don't think we are, though.
I don't think we are.
Fun in person. But it's also like about energy, and like this concert at that moment, like we were pretty chill, we were relaxed.
Yeah. Not only
we
that,
did talk with like this group right next to us, and they were all really nice. And then we were there with a few of our friends. But yeah, I was just like, what if we were underwhelming? But then I was like, nah, you know what? Like,
I'm also
doesn't
like
matter.
not gonna like if I meet someone out in the wild and they're like, "Oh my God, I recognize you," like I'm not gonna like put on a show. I'm just whatever I'm feeling at the moment, that's how I'm gonna be. So if you ever catch me as like I'm crying, in public,
even better.
that's what you're gonna get. I mean, I'll probably be like,
Hey.
but I'm not gonna keep crying. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like put on a show in that sense.
But it was really cool meeting her, and she was really nice.
She was really sweet.
Very
So thank
sweet
you
girl.
if you're listening.
It was lovely meeting you. Sorry I didn't have stickers on me to give to you. I wish I would have. I need to start carrying those
stickers. Anyways, okay, moving on. So what I wanted to talk about today actually was I had this moment happen not that long ago, and I've still kind of been like mulling it over, and now that I've kind of like processed it a little bit more, I was ready to talk about it. Now I'm gonna say this, like I guarantee other pods regarding non-monogamy and polyamory have talked about this, and we've kind of touched on the subject before. It has to do with comparing yourself to your partner's partners. So let me give you the story. Basically, one of my friends with benefits, we were just hanging out, whatever. He goes on dates with other girls, and I don't care, obviously. And him and I have like a relationship where we can talk about it, so I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm seeing this person," or he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm seeing this person," and like, we sleep together, we have a great friendship. I don't know, it's just like I enjoy my fuck buddy relationship with him. Anyways, but he was like, "Oh my God, let me show you this girl that I've been or that I went on a date with recently. She has amazing tits. You'd love them." So he shows me a picture of her, and she is like an absolute smoke show. And I've seen other girls that he's hooked up with before. He's a good looking guy. He can pull hella good looking girls. And in LA, like there's plenty of them to go around. So and he's showed me other girls before, and again, they're all like 11 out of 10s smoke shows. And like I understand and can like conceptualize that, like, yes, everyone has different qualities and everyone brings something different to the table, and and like I've discussed that before, but like that doesn't mean that every once in a while I don't feel like a pang of jealousy or a pang of insecurity whenever I whenever, you know, like I see someone else that like the people that I sleep with are sleeping with, or that are dating, whatever, you know, like, or other partners. And this was like the first time that I like had felt such a reaction to it. And I don't know, I think it's, you know, in part because like, you know, this isn't someone that I would necessarily consider I have a lot of safety with. Like with my ex-husband, I had a lot of safety with him. So I never, like, I didn't feel jealous all that much because like I knew that he valued me. And maybe that's kind of what it boils down to is if that person makes you feel valued or not. So my ex-husband made me feel valued. And so I rarely felt jealous, or I rarely felt insecure when I saw other people that he was sleeping with or dating, or like, you know, his girlfriend back then and all that, because I was like, oh, I know what value I bring to him. Now this person, we have a great friendship, and I know in some ways how I kind of bring value to him, but he's not someone that like overly expresses it to me, right?
I would agree with that statement, yes.
So it's like sometimes I'm kind of left feeling like I don't know what he values in me. So then when I see all these girls that he's hooking up with that are like super hot and like amazing bodies, you go on their Instagrams and they have like perfectly curated, you know, story walls and, you know, whatever, Instagram aesthetics. Yeah. And they dress great. Like they have cool jobs. Well,
you have a cool job.
I have a cool job. Yeah, I do. Anyways. So, you know, they're not pilots, but anyways, what I'm saying is that like I really had a moment. I remember when I left his house.
But also just remember, IG bikini pics, you know, just if you don't have those doesn't mean you're not valuable.
No, I know. Like that one Selena Gomez song, you know, I want to be a bad bitch without the ass shots.
Yeah. I think I'm a bad bitch without the ass shots.
I'm a bad bitch without the ass shots.
Everyone wants my ass shots.
Everyone wants my ass shots, but yeah, I won't give it to them. Only dudes that I meet on Bumble that I want. But that was like one of the first times that I really found myself feeling insecure. And I had this moment where I'm like, why do I bother sleeping with this person when they have like way better options aesthetically? And then I had to sit there and like kind of like reinforce a lot of the things that I've like used to create a sense of like, or to, I shouldn't say create. I had to reinforce a lot of the things that like make me a generally confident person. So I had to sit there and be like, okay, well, Nikki, we know that people are more than just looks. Not only that, but like energy, sexual chemistry, sexual skill, and just like, you know, confidence and knowing your body. Like I've definitely found that like just because someone's hot doesn't mean they're great in bed.
Yeah.
I've been with some like really hot dudes that like as soon as I'm in bed with them, I'm like, you're boring as fuck.
Where's the pizzazz?
Where like give me some. I remember I was listening to
some body.
I was listening to
rhythm.
The Cocktails podcast, and I remember they had mentioned,
if you haven't listened to Cocktails,
I fucking really love Cocktails. Yeah,
fucking love them.
Medina and what's it?
Kiki and Medina. Oh my god, they're so funny.
But I remember they had briefly mentioned how, you know, they were saying that like, yeah, sometimes the hot people are kind of boring in bed because sometimes like hot people are just kind of like, oh, well, I don't really have to have a personality because people just want to be next to me because of my looks. So then they're kind of boring. And, you know,
if you think about it, like, and actually like truly think about it, when you're having sex with someone, you're not like, how do I say this? You're not focused on like, oh my god, they have rippling abs, or like, you know, the perfect cinched waist, or, you know, like you like how things feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You like how skin feels. You like the energy. You like what that person is giving to that moment.
I don't know how to describe it.
So you can't just be like, if you're hot looks wise, please don't, like, you can't think like that's your saving grace in bed if you're a pillow princess or prince.
Yeah. Well, no, like I said, there have been some really attractive people that I've slept with that I'm like, this was very underwhelming, not returning. But like, anyways, so I was sitting there like reinforcing to myself a lot of the things, you know, that I've that I know to be true for myself. And it was just kind of like almost like a nice little refresher in something that I hadn't really felt in a long time. And I think sometimes in non-monogamy, especially like when you're, maybe you have like established partners and you're going through, or, you're dating, you've been with them for a while, whatever, like someone new pops up and you start dating them. And sometimes like those new people can like, I think we mentioned this in one of the more recent episodes, can bring forth things that like maybe you hadn't worked on in a while or that you haven't like felt in a while. So, and I haven't told this person because we're just friends with benefits. Like, I'm not going to sit there and have a discussion with him like, hey, the girls that you're having sex with make me feel insecure. No.
Just say that and see what happens. I would love to run a little test to see what the...
No, but like the thing is that like...
Kidding.
It kind of like, it's not anything that he's doing. It was just like my reaction to it because I was having a moment of insecurity. And I appreciated like the ability to like revisit that because I hadn't kind of felt that, like I said, I haven't felt it in a long time. So like to be able to like revisit it and kind of like have that moment with myself to reinforce those things was nice. But it's also not a fun feeling to like sit there, like, your partner showing you this really hot person that they're hooking up with and you're just sitting there like, well, now I feel like a slob. And the day that I had like gone to hang out with him, like I don't remember what I was wearing, but like my hair needed to be washed. I washed my hair, guys. Anyways, but it was a hair wash day. I didn't have that much makeup on. Like I was a little bloated because I had just gone back from vacation, and so like bloating happens after that. So I wasn't feeling at my best, and so then to see like these like picture perfect girls, I was like, ah, fuck. And anyways, so it just that was a lot to kind of like process in that moment, but it kind of took me like a little bit longer to, I shouldn't say it took me a little bit longer, but like I kind of wanted to chew on it a little bit more because I know like I said, we've mentioned it in other podcast episodes before where you have to think about like things besides looks, besides money and job and aesthetic and car. Like you have to look past that and know. But what I said earlier really brought it full circle for me. And this is why sometimes I like talking about things on the podcast, because honestly, they help me kind of process it. It's because partly I don't know how much he values me, or I don't know what he values about me. So then I go to like the standard, like, oh, what do people value? Looks, job, financial status, nice assets.
Yes,
and so then it makes me wonder, like, should I have a conversation? But it's also a friends with benefits. So it's like, do I really need to be asking this dude, like, what do you value about me so I don't feel insecure?
Yeah, that's just like a lot. And it's true. Some some friendships and relationships, like, yeah, you want to ask those questions. And then others, it's like, do you need to bother to? But I think you do. But at the same time, it's like, you just don't take it too seriously.
It definitely does make me think, though, that, like, say in a situation, like, maybe your partner is saying, like, hey, your other new partner is really hot and really cool and has all these cool things, and that makes me feel insecure. Like, think about how you're making them feel valued, and think about, like, what, how you're showing them what you value about them. So whether that be through like words of affirmation, or what are other ways to show people how you value them? Not gifts. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you tap into your love languages in that way. Or, like I said, tell them, well, yeah, sure, this person's really great. Sure, they're really hot, but like, I value this about you. I value the way that you make me feel. Da, 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 da. And actually, reminds me, one of my partners recently, he was watching an episode from our podcast, and when we were texting about it, and I was like, what do you think of the episode so far? And he was like, I need to process it a little bit, let me get back to you. And I was like, okay. And then later he got back to me and he was like, and I guess it was an episode where I'd mentioned Calvin, and you guys know how I talk about Calvin. Greek god of a bod, amazing dick. Like, the man is fucking hot. Anyways, And he was like, what is y'all's relationship? Like, and he, like, I'd asked a question. He, like, I just want to understand y'all's dynamic a little bit more. And I told him, like, we're friends with benefits, great friendship, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and he told me, he was like, to be quite honest, when I was listening you talk about him, it made me feel like a little bit insecure. And so I just wanted to understand your dynamic a little bit more to see if it was like a perceived threat. And I told him, I was like, quite honestly, I said, I could understand how if someone looks at him, they'd be like, oh yeah, I feel threatened or I feel insecure. But, you know, like, I told him, I'm like, well, this is what I value about you. And like, those are things that I don't get from Calvin. And, or, you know, maybe some of them I do, some of them I don't, but like, I made a point to like tell him, like, this is what I value about you. And like, I wouldn't consider it a threat if I were you. So, you know, we had that conversation regarding it, which I thought was really productive. And I really appreciated that he could sit there and be like, I'm having a moment of insecurity about, you know, someone that you talk very highly of. They haven't met. And this is how it makes me feel. And I'd like to understand the situation more. And then we discussed it. And then, like, I think we both left feeling like significantly better than before. So, yeah.
No, it was funny because actually just, what was it, yesterday? One of our friends had reached out. Him and his girlfriend are thinking about exploring. What? He's thinking about exploring non-monogamy.
Who?
They're both kinky.
Oh.
Anyways, so they're kinky, but they're considering exploring non-monogamy. And he was like, hey, you know, my girlfriend and I are thinking about this. She wants to try out different, you know, she wants to, you know, explore her sexuality and maybe mess around with women a little bit. And
the gateway.
Yeah. Anyways, I was like, okay. And then he was like, well, so how do we do this? How do we structure this? And, you know, he was saying like, he wanted to make sure that like they were still each other's number ones, so primaries, and that he came first, or they came first to each other no matter what, blah blah blah. And the language that he was using, I was starting to see that he had A, some ego work to do, and B, that he had some hesitation and insecurity about it, because the way he made it sound, he was like, oh, so, you know, she'll go hang out with this girl, but that'll, you know, this will help because this will strengthen our relationship because she'll go hang out with that girl and that'll make her miss me more or want to hang out with me more. And I was like, no, absolutely not. If that is the expectation, I'm sorry, but you're going to be sorely disappointed. He was like, you know, I had hung out with a friend and we had cuddled after, and it had made me miss my girlfriend. And
whoa, did the girlfriend know about the cuddling?
I think so.
Okay.
Anyways, and you know, so that's how.
Because if they're not non-monogamous,
no, I know, they're exploring it. Anyways,
okay.
And he was like, and so that made me think that this is a great way for us to strengthen our relationship. And I was like, that is not the way. Oh, and he was like, and she'll, you know, I was comparing this girl to the other girl, and you know, that made me feel better about my girlfriend. And I was like, no,
you should not compare your partners.
And that's what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, you're thinking about this in the wrong way. First of all, you know, if you want hierarchical non-monogamy, like, that's great, but like, the sense of autonomy still needs to be there, and you can't put like expectations and you know, boundaries around, like, you know, to ensure, as we said in another episode, to ensure that this person like remains your number one. Like, that, those are not where the expectations should be. Mm-hmm. I told him, you need to take this slow, you know, take some time to like go into introspection a little bit, be like, okay, why do I need to feel like, you know, her seeing another person will make her miss me more, or why do I need to compare these two people to feel better about this relationship? So I was trying to guide him, and you know, at the end of it, you know, he was like, no, you're absolutely right. You know, he definitely had some more thoughts to go through, and definitely needs to, keep the line of communication open with his girlfriend. But I mean, comparison, it's just a tricky thing, because I feel like it's going to pop up at weird times, and, he was even mentioning like, oh, jealousy, like we'll work through it. And I was like, yes, and realize that it'll come in at different times, and you're going to have to work on it in different times, despite if you've already talked about it before. So I told him, I was like, non-monogamy is going to, it's going to bring a lot of it's going to put communication like on the spotlight, because you're really going to have to, communicate a ton.
Even if you establish somewhere along the way, like, oh, I have my coping mechanisms for jealousy, or like, you've met all your partners and you've worked through all the insecurities, or like whatever. Like I said, it doesn't mean that, years down the road, like those things aren't still going to come up again. And you're going to have to go back to like the practices that you used before to help yourself work through that. But you might also find new ones, and you might find new ways to work through it. Like, I think before, when I dealt with insecurity and jealousy, I did a lot of mirror work. I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of introspection. I did a lot of affirmations, and I still use those things. But I think in this scenario, what I used the most was like, I think I let myself feel it a little bit more than I have in the past. Like, I guess before I would like try to like deflect it with like, oh, well, I understand this and I conceptualize this. And instead I was like, I let myself kind of like dive into the feeling a little bit more, and being like, yeah, this makes me feel really insecure. And it makes me wonder why I'm throwing my name in the bucket when he's got far better options. And it makes me feel, less than. And I kind of like instead sunk into a little bit more, stayed there for a moment.
Don't delve, but I would say definitely feel your feelings.
Yeah, and then I got up and I was like, but I know that like I'm not any of those things. And I know that I am who I am. I love who I am. I'm glad I let myself honor those feelings and feel them, but like they've passed, and now I can move on from them. So it definitely felt like a different way of like dealing with it than I've dealt with it in the past, if that makes sense. Because like in the, before, when I would like sit there and like journal about it, I would like journal about ways that I could like that I could push past the feeling, rather than like diving into how it made me feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or like, figuring out the why of like why that feeling came up.
Yeah. So anyways, it was kind of an interesting little exercise for me. And then I talked about it to one of my other partners, in the sense that I was like, if I ever make you feel this way, please let me know, because I don't want to make you feel that way. And he was like, you don't make me feel that way. And he was like, I've got my own. He was like, I sure sometimes I get insecure or get jealousy or whatever. He's like, but I have my methods, and you make me feel valued, and I know what I do for you. And so it made me feel good that like I could see that I make him feel valued, so that he doesn't feel that way, if he ever meets like any of my other partners or sees them or whatever. So it, on both sides, on one side, if you're the one that's feeling insecure and jealous, like I said, find your methods, recognize that it's going to come up often, even if you feel like you've dealt with it after some time. Honor your feelings, and, find things that work for you to work through all of that. But then on the other side, on your part, if you're the partner of the person that's feeling insecure and that's feeling jealous or whatever, remember to kind of like affirm to them what you value about them, because I think that can go a really long way. And like, not just the one time when they tell you about the insecurity, but like make them feel valued throughout. Like the affirmation shouldn't be just like, oh, hey, I'm feeling insecure. Hey, I really value this and this about you. And then that's the only time you make them feel valued. Like, no, I think you should make them feel valued, obviously, throughout the entire relationship. And that, I think, will help them work through the jealousy and insecurity. I will say this, even though I don't know everything about what I make the one partner I'm talking about, my friends with benefits, even though I don't know everything about how he makes me feel valued, I do know.
Or you mean how he values you?
Yeah. Thank you. Like, even though I don't know everything about how he values me because he doesn't necessarily express that to me, at the same time, I do know I'm one of the few people, and he's told me this before. He's told me I'm the only person that he really feels like he can be open about what he wants sexually with. And so I cling to that, if I'm being honest. I'm like, you know what? I may not be as tiny as that one girl with like the really big boobs and great ass and like just phenomenal fucking body, but he knows he can tell me that he wants me to lick his asshole, and I'll do it, and he won't feel any judgment. And he can tell me about all his dating stories, and like I create a safe space for him to do that, and like we have that dialogue and that conversation. So I do cling to that, but because he did tell me once, you know, he affirmed that to me. Has he affirmed it since? No. Has he still has he shown me that he continues to value that? Not necessarily, but at least like those words in the past helped me overcome it. So yeah, there's my conversation about comparison, insecurity, jealousy, etc. It vaguely reminds me of I don't know if y'all remember Natalie. She's from like episode like 4, long time ago. We love her. And I remember one time she said she likes to date medium ugly guys, which I think is a terrible term, but I get what she's saying because it feels like less pressure. And I totally understand that. Sometimes if you have like a really attractive partner that like a lot of people show interest for, it feels like a lot of pressure to like constantly maintain yourself.
Yeah, like be on.
Yeah, be on, or like, you know, make sure that like you're in shape, or make sure that like you're bringing value to the table. Like you can't slip up. Otherwise, like someone's going to swoop right in and take your spot in their life.
And it's like everybody has bad days. Everybody has, you know, hair days where they need to wash their hair, or, you know, a day where they're feeling bloated, or maybe, you know, they have 5 zits that popped up, you know, one week. Like no one's perfect 24/7. If you are, like, congratulations. I'm very happy for you.
But
like,
no one is.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah. So
like, give yourself some grace.
Yeah, my therapist told me I need to do better at that.
Nikki told me I need to do
And then I told Cami that she needs to do better at it because my therapist says I'm bad at it, and chances are if I'm bad at it, so is Cami. So I told Cami she needs to give herself more grace.
Well, because we were getting ready for this recording and I had not done my morning routine. I got up. I had to, my Snow threw up her food immediately after she ate it. I had to take care of the puppy. I had to take care of all the pets. And then, you know, I wanted like 2 seconds of relaxation. I tried to put on a fucking meditation, and, you know, all the cats and the pets were out and about, and I was like, God damn it, I can't focus. And then, you know, I had breakfast, and then I got started at work, and then, you know, lo and behold, I'm on the couch, you know.
This sounds stressful. You're stressing me out.
Yeah, exactly. No, anyway, so that's what I'm saying. Like today I had a stressful day, and then, you know, I had to like make myself, you know, I did do, thankfully, 35 minutes of yoga, and then, you know, I had Pilates. I had to, you know, get ready for this recording and look nice, and like my hair was in a bun and like it looked terrible, and I need to brush it. I need to make myself like feel pretty and like feel like ready to record, and that was just like a little bit hard to do, like where I was at. You know, I have a lot of things going on. Point of the story being, you know, like, just what was the point?
To give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace.
Because I was telling Cami, she's sitting there complaining that like she didn't do all of her shit and that whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, even on our worst days when we haven't gotten everything done or haven't been super productive or like don't look our best or whatever, we still do pretty good. And by that, I mean, we're still productive. We take care of ourselves. We take care of our pets. We take care of our house. We take care of our, like, even on the worst days where maybe we didn't get everything done, like we still tried and we gave it our all. And like, what more can you ask of anyone, really? Yeah. So,
and honestly, I just had this thought, and this is a completely different tangent, but can we get a water bottle sponsor? Because I'm always drinking water during the episodes, and I'm changing up my bottles, and Blender Bottle does not sponsor us. But I would like
see the Blender Bottle logo.
But I would like a water bottle sponsor if anybody wants to reach out. Also, shout out to Helix for my mattress.
Cami's been getting great sleep because of that mattress. So
yes, I do value.
So even though she do be stressing during the day,
I be sleeping great at night. So thank you, Helix. Don't forget helixsleep.com/double.
Just double.
Yep. and get you a new mattress and some great sleep too.
I might get a new one soon.
Yeah.
Mine's feeling a little low.
So that was today's episode, guys.
I hope y'all enjoyed it. Kind of short and sweet, but anyways.
Live episode soon.
It was a moment I had with myself, and I wanted to share it with y'all. And kind of after I mulled it over, I was like, okay, I'm ready to talk about it. And yeah, I don't know. Some days, sometimes, when my face is like covered in breakouts and I'm feeling super bloated. I'll never forget, this was actually last year, when everything started with my divorce or the separation. My skin was breaking out so bad. I have pictures. I would wake up with like no makeup, and like this entire area right here, like by my chin, and like lower cheek area was just like a disaster, a literal disaster of breakouts. And my eyes would be puffy from crying like so much. And I would still take moments to look in the mirror, and I'd look at myself in that state, and I would still like have nothing but love for myself and feel beautiful, not for like the aesthetic of it, but like beautiful to be like going through the human experience of emotions and still powering through every day despite how much like pain I was going through. Anyways, and so it's like, I remember when I left this person's house and I was kind of feeling insecure, and I was like sitting there in my car and I was just kind of like feeling really shitty. I put the
Makes My Siren Sing playlist. No? Okay. All right.
No, I'm trying to remember what playlist I put on. Actually, yeah, I did. I put on a song that makes me feel like a badass. It's actually a song about cheating. It's called I See Red from that 365 Days movie.
I will say the song for me that makes me feel like a bad bitch on a low day is Bad by Rehab. Shawty, you bad.
Okay, that one's actually good. I See Red makes me feel hot. I don't know why, it just does. And
Rihanna. Rihanna's Shut Up and Drive.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not one of them.
I don't know why, but that always makes me feel hot.
And what I was saying initially was that like I put the mirror down and I just kind of took a moment to look at myself, and I was like, I love you. And so like I love myself, so like I used the mirror work in that, and it was a quick little moment just with the mirror, and then that was it. But there's another song that I put usually when I want to feel hot. Hold on.
Guys, never miss the chance to look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself that you love yourself.
Oh,
and you love yourself.
I mean, either one, to be honest. Industry Baby by Lil Nas X.
I told you long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for. I fucking love that
song. Makes me feel like a bad bitch. And then Good For You by Selena Gomez also makes me feel like a bad bitch.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so
let's do a little post. What song makes me feel like a bad bitch?
Oh, yeah, ask the Q&A.
Yeah.
I'd love to see.
We do need to do a Q&A, so we'll do one soon.
Yeah, we'll do a Q&A.
Stop asking if we're twins. We're twins.
Okay. Anyways. So, find your methods to deal with insecurity and jealousy. It's going to happen. It's still going to come up. I am 5 years into non-monogamy, and it still came up. Like,
comparison is a natural thing, but you got to remind yourself at the end of the day that
you're a bad bitch. And if someone doesn't, and I remember like one of my other partners, I remembered, they downloaded Hinge, and I was like feeling a little, at first for like a moment, I was like feeling a little insecure about it. And I was like, you know what? And I reminded myself, I'm like, if they see value in me, they'll see value in me, and they'll continue to see me. If they don't see value in me, they won't see value in me, and they won't see me anymore. And I'll go find someone that sees value in me. Like sometimes you gotta, I'm not saying you gotta put yourself through the ringer all the time but sometimes like these things come up more often than not.
Yep.
And it's Mercury retrograde, so kind of fitting that a lot of these things came back up. So, but anyways.
Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Don't forget, wear condoms. That's usually what Cami says.
Yes. Wear condoms.
Don't forget the live show October 20th.
Don't forget the live show October 20th in Los Angeles. Come through. LA.
Wait. What? Do we want to show them the dildo that I'll be deep throating on stage?
No, let's show them the puppy though.
No. not
Grab
yet.
Lobo.
No, he's
Lobo.
sleeping. He's sleeping.
Okay.
Let him sleep.
All right. Yeah, sign off. Okay, I got a call.
Love you all. Bye.
What's our outro music?